You've been on the front lines of this fight for nearly 10 years. You were there in those early days, driving the Taliban from power, pushing al-Qaeda out of its safe havens. Over time, as the insurgency grew, you went back for, in some cases, a second time, a third time, a fourth time. When the decision was made to go into Iraq, you were there too, making the longest air assault in history, defeating a vicious insurgency, ultimately giving Iraqis the chance to secure their democracy. And you've been at the forefront of our new strategy in Afghanistan. You know, sending more of you into harm's way was the toughest decision that I've made as Commander-in-Chief. I don't make it lightly. Every time I visit Walter Reed, every time I visit Bethesda, I'm reminded of the wages of war. But I made that decision because I know that this mission was vital to the security of the nation that we all love. And I know it hasn't been easy for you, and it hasn't certainly been easy for your families. Since 9/11, no base has deployed more often, and few bases have sacrificed more than you. We see it in our heroic wounded warriors, fighting every day to recover, and who deserve the absolute best care in the world. We see it in the mental and emotional toll that's been taken. In some cases, some good people, good soldiers who've taken their own lives. So we're going to keep saying to anybody who's hurting out there, don't give up. You're not alone. Your country needs you. We're here for you to keep you strong. And most of all, we see the price of this war in the 125 soldiers from Fort Campbell who've made the ultimate sacrifice during this deployment to Afghanistan. And every memorial ceremony, every Eagle remembrance is a solemn reminder of the heavy burdens of war, but also the values of loyalty and duty and honor that have defined your lives. So here's what each of you must know. Because of your service, because of your sacrifices, we're making progress in Afghanistan. In some of the toughest parts of the country, General Campbell and the 101st are taking insurgents and their leaders off the battlefield and helping Afghans reclaim their communities. Across Afghanistan, we've broken the Taliban's momentum. In key regions, we've seized the momentum, pushing them out of their strongholds. We're building the capacity of Afghans, partnering with communities and police and security forces, which are growing stronger. And most of all, we're making progress in our major goal, our central goal in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and that is disrupting and dismantling, and we are going to ultimately defeat al-Qaeda. We have cut off their head, and we will ultimately defeat them. Even before this week's operation, we'd put al-Qaeda's leadership under more pressure than at any time since 9/11, on both sides of the border. So the bottom line is this: our strategy is working, and there is no greater evidence of that than justice finally being delivered to Osama bin Laden. But I don't want to fool you. This continues to be a very tough fight. You know that. But because of this progress, we're moving into a new phase. In the coming months, we'll start transferring responsibility for security to Afghan forces. Starting this summer, we'll begin reducing American forces. As we transition, we'll build a long-term partnership with the Afghan people so that al-Qaeda can never again threaten America from that country. And as your Commander-in-Chief, I am confident that we're going to succeed in this mission. The reason I'm confident is because in you I see the strength of America's military. And because in recent days we've all seen the resilience of the American spirit. You know, this week I received a letter from a girl in New Jersey me on Monday after the news that bin Laden had been killed. And she explained how she still remembers that September morning, almost 10 years ago. She was only 4 years old. Her father, Glenn, was trapped inside the World Trade Center. And so in those final frantic moments, knowing he might not make it, he called home. And Peyton remembers watching her mom sobbing as she spoke to her husband, and then passed the phone to Peyton. And in words that were hard to hear, but what she's never forgotten, she said, he said to her, "I love you, Peyton, and I will always be watching over you." So yesterday, Peyton, her mom, and her sister, Avery, joined me at Ground Zero. And now Peyton's 14. These past 10 years have been tough for her. In her letter, she said, "Ever since my father died, I lost a part of me that can never be replaced." And she describes her childhood as a little girl struggling to shine through all the darkness in her life. But every year, more and more, Peyton is shining through. She's playing a lot of sports, including lacrosse and track, just like her dad. She's doing well in school. She's mentoring younger students. She's looking ahead to high school in the fall. And so yesterday she was with us, strong, confident young woman, honoring her father's memory, even as she set her sights on the future. And for her and for all of us, this week has been a reminder of what we're about as a people. It's easy to forget sometimes, especially in times of hardship, times of uncertainty. We've coming out of the worst recession since the Great Depression. Haven't fully recovered from that. We've made enormous sacrifices in 2 wars. But the essence of America, the values that have defined us for more than 200 years, they don't just endure, they are stronger than ever. We're still the America that does the hard things, that does the great things. We're the nation that always dared to dream. We're the nation that's willing to take risks. Revolutionaries breaking free from an empire. Pioneers heading west to settle new frontiers. Innovators building railways and laying the highways and putting a man on the surface of the moon. We are the nation, and you're the division, that parachuted behind enemy lines on D-Day, freeing a continent, liberating concentration camps. We're the nation that all those years ago sent your division to a high school in Arkansas so that 9 black students could get an education. That was you, because we believed that all men are created equal, that everyone deserves a chance to realize their God-given potential. We're the nation that has faced tough times before, tougher times than these, but when our union frayed, when the Depression came, when our harbor was bombed, when our country was attacked on that September day, when disaster strikes like that tornado that just ripped through this region, we do not falter, we don't turn back, we pick ourselves up, and we get on with the hard task of keeping our country strong and safe. See, there's nothing we can't do together, 101st, when we remember who we are, and that is the United States of America. When we remember that, no problem is too hard and no challenge is too great, and that is why I am so confident that with your brave service, America's greatest days are still to come. God bless you. God bless the 101st, and God bless the United States of America.
President Obama just wrapping up his speech there in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. What a speech it was. I want to bring in Senator Dick Durbin, who has been sitting here during this entire time, watching this whole speech with me. There the president goes, along with the vice president. Jackets off. Rousing round of applause from those troops there. First, Senator, just your impressions?
What a great moment. You know, this president, I think, was being as honest as he could be with the American people and these troops. This was the riskiest decision he ever made as president. And
going in Sunday.
Going in. And he put his faith in those men and women in uniform and those like them who were part of it. And he came to say thank you, that they didn't let him down. They didn't let America down. It was a great expression of gratitude from the president and a nation.
In the speech, the president said, just looking at my notes, he said, we're making progress. We're going to defeat al-Qaeda. And when you and I spoke before the president came out, you know, with regard to getting our troops out of Afghanistan and starting really to draw down come July, would you be willing to take the troops out, even if al-Qaeda isn't fully defeated?
Listen, I think we could put all the members of al-Qaeda in Afghanistan in this room. It's a small number. We can't ever give up on the fact that they're dangerous to us in America and to the people in Afghanistan. But we are closing in on them. We have lopped the head off the snake and we're beating them down. We've still got work to do. And we need to do it with the Afghans. They need to step up with us, their military, their police. They have to be as focused as we are in keeping Afghanistan safe.
Also, though, in terms of those opportunities, one opportunity, one may say, is the fact that bin Laden is dead. Now we have the opportunity, the United States has the opportunity to reconcile, to negotiate with the Taliban. It's widely known or surmised that the reclusive head of the Taliban, Mullah Mohammed Omar, is in Pakistan. Perhaps this is one way to get him out and talking to the U.S. Do you agree? Is that an opportunity?
I don't think we miss the chance to see if it can work. If, in fact, we can sit down with the Taliban with an agreement that they will honor the government that is in Afghanistan, that they will not engage in acts of terrorism, that they will treat women with dignity in their country. If they're prepared to do that, then perhaps something can happen. Should we try? Of course we should.
And if they're not?
Well, then the battle continues.
The battle continues. Do we have Dan Lothian standing by, guys? What more beyond the speech? And certainly he's very thankful to all of these troops. But in terms of, you know, lights off, we're out, Afghanistan, is there such a thing as mission accomplished?
I don't think any president is going to step up and stand under that banner soon. President Bush, as I understand it, looked back and said that was a mistake. And he was branded with it for the longest period of time. They spoke too soon, claimed too much. And I think presidents are careful now, President Bush since then and President Obama now, not to make these claims. And let me just add one other point,
Sure.
Sue. There's a group that cannot be shown on camera that deserves equal billing and gratitude, and that's the intelligence community. When you read about a 10-year effort to find this man and all of the work and all of the danger that they faced to bring that day about, to allow our military to step in, that of gratitude should go to our intelligence community as well.
You know, we were learning from the vice president speaking at dinner 2 nights ago, and he said there were a number of members of Congress who were in on this operation. Were you part of that?
Nope. There were 16.
16.
And a limited number of those on the intelligence committee, which I once served on, and the leadership. And the good news is the vice president said they knew for months and not a single word leak. Everyone understood. I've talked to Senator Harry Reid about this, the gravity and importance of this mission.
No leaks at all. Senator Durbin, thank you so much.
It's good to be with you.
For sitting here.
For this historic moment.
For this historic moment. What a moment to share with you, number 2 Democrat in the Senate.